Hi, today I will show you how to use AWX, how to configure it, and how to create a project, how to create a template, and how to run your job, and then how to automate this job and schedule it to run it, for example, every 24 hours. Okay, so let's switch to the browser and I will log into my AWX. I assume that you have AWX already installed, so if not, it's the best to follow my tutorial, and you can see it here. And first of all, follow how to install AWX using Ansible playbook, and then how to make a persistent volume and how to create persistent volume claim to create a local storage on a host for your project where you will be able to store Ansible playbooks. Because I thought that there are people who have limited environment, they cannot create another virtual machine or cluster where they will be running, for example, GitLab or Git, and they will not be able to attach the repository to AWX. And because of that, I then spotted that there is an option to add just local storage to the AWX project, but then I found out that there is a problem because the projects directory doesn't exist in a container. Then I tried to perform a kind of workaround and I logged into the container. I used bash and I created it, but then I found out that there is a problem because if I will terminate a pod, I lose everything. So then I decided that I will create a persistent volume claim, and I will mount it directly to the container. So when I will create anything on my host, it will be automatically visible by the container, so I will be able to pick up proper directory and choose proper Ansible playbook then, and everything will be working. And even if I will terminate the pod, still directories will be there and they will be accessible. So additionally, what I didn't present but I advise to perform a backup of the directory from the host where you store projects and Ansible playbooks. But this is quite simple task. You can use AirSense or another tool. There are many solutions, so you can take care about it. So I really recommend to watch at least those two, but there is a whole series about Ansible. Number 2, so this is the first one, how to add user on remote servers using bash script, and then on one end, starting from the order, how to add Ansible user to sudo then create an elliptic curve key for Ansible user, how to install and configure Ansible, create playbook, what is non-file. This is a very crucial thing that you should learn. And then Ansible SSH prompt non-host issue explained and solved, how to install K-Trace on Raspberry Pi, and then how to upgrade Portainer, for example, and then install AWX and create persistent volume. Fine. So now let's go back to AWX, and I will log in there, and after that we will go together to the configuration from the scratch, because this is something that is crucial, and without understanding these steps you will not be able to complete this configuration. So after installing AWX, yes, you need to configure it for use, right? So first of all, what you need to do, of course, you need to log into AWX. Then you need to create an organization. So organization is available in access section, and you can create one or you can create another one if you want to. You need just to provide name and description and get rid of these Ansible Galaxy credentials and just save it. And now you will ask me why I need to create an organization. Well, In AWX, everything, including users, teams, and projects, is organized within organization. So if you will not add an organization, you will not be able to create users and teams and projects and inventories, etc., etc., just because they require an organization. It's a kind of group that keeps everything together, and thanks to this, you will be able to make it work. So you should rather treat organization like a kind of a general group that connect everything, every environment. So for example, I can provide you 3 good examples of organization: production, development, and test environment. They should be separated. So for example, this is a good idea. Or if you have different clients, so you can create organization the way that it will be divided to clients. The clients will be in the highest level, and each name of the client will mean the client's name is an organization. And then if you have a production, test, and development, then you can do this on inventory level, for example. So you can, because inventories is also a kind of sorting, a kind of creating groups. So we can do it there, or you can eventually make it on a teams level if you want to, but I do not recommend it. Inventories is the best option in this case, and then we will go through all of this. So I will not show you more just because we will not waste time anymore. So I will cancel it because I have already the organization home, so I don't need it. I don't need to add any additional. Okay, so we have this. And after that, of course, we can add more users. So I will just quickly show you. You can click add user, provide first, last name, email address, username, password, and then you have types. You have a normal user, system auditor, or system administrator. So the administrator, of course, has the highest privileges, and it can do everything in AWX. Then you have something like teams, and if you will click here on this pencil, you can see you add only DevOps as a name and description and an organization. So if we will go back to teams and we'll choose this button add, name, description, and organization, and save. I will cancel it. I have a team DevOps. If you will click the name here, you can see more details, answers, who is added to the teams, and roles. Eventually you can assign role if you want to. You have something like additional, you can choose which role should be here: job template, workflow, credentials, organization, blah blah blah. So we can choose which team can do what. Actually, you can decide that, for example, one team can manage only project, the other team can manage only organization, the next one can manage only credential, or you can mix some of this, and you can decide which team will have an access to which part. Okay, so you can select it from the list. So for example, if you want to create something else, we can do this, but I don't want to do that because I don't need it. You can see AWX is granular. Really good idea. Okay, so now we will focus on the next big step. You need to create a project, and here is the thing with the persistent volume, and I'm going to show you. If you will add a project, and then you will decide that you want test 2 or test 3, test 3, why not? Organization, execution environment, you can leave it empty, but here you have an option, manual, and now it will complain because there is no free directory inside it, and now it is good to present it on a server level. So let's switch to the command line. and this is my host, where I have also Ranger is running, and on the top of that, I will just show you kubectl get all and namespace AWX, and you can see I have ports for Postgres, operator controller, web tasks, right? Everything is up and running. I have 3 services and also 3 deployments, 3 replica sets, and 1 stateful setup. I have also persistent volume, so kubectl get then PVC and persistent volume claim and namespace AWX, like that. And I will also get the PV persistent volume, and you can see I have 2. By default, for Postgres, it is creating automatically after the installation of AWX, but the second one, AWX project claim and AWX project volume, is created by me thanks my Ansible playbook, so I modified it and you can deploy it easily. Okay, so we have persistent volume claims, and everything is up and running. So this persistent volume is mounted to my host, to my Ranger, and the directory is set to var lib AWX projects, like that. And inside of it I have test1 update, so I can create a new one, mkdir, with sudo of course, because I will show you this in a moment. The owner of the project is root. So the mkdir test, and then for example 2 lslh, like that, and you can see this. And if I will go back, lslh on this level, and the owner is root and the group is Adrian. Okay, fine. So the best idea is to revert back the change, so I can modify the sudo chown -r and Adrian root, like that, for projects. And now I just modified permission, pd projects, lh, and now everything is working as expected. And I will get rid of this sudo with updates log, I don't need it, and now everything is as expected. Let's go back to browser, and now how it is working. Well, to see the change here in this drop-down list, because when I decided to choose manual, I need to refresh it. So I will refresh it, and it will reload the front end actually. And now if I will choose manual, I have an option to select test2, and I can type then test2 and like that, and now save, and it will save the project. Now back to projects and test1, test2, and updates. And I can then get rid of, for example, test or test1, and test2. I don't need to have it because I just wanted to present it that this is possible. And one thing is good to mention, that if you will try to, for example, you have a, I will show you. I will get rid of the test, right? Delete it. Delete the project. Okay, then refresh the website just to be sure that it will see the change. Then go to add the project, and for example you have something like manual and you have a test, and now you can assign it. But if you have more, so let's go to project, and I will get rid of test 1, for example, delete it. Okay, and then I will refresh it one more time, and after that I will try to add a new one. So you will see that I have 2 available. The next thing what to mention is to one thing to understand. One thing is good to know, that you cannot assign a directory to a project that already exists, and you cannot mix it. So if there is a one project that has a one directory assigned, You cannot assign another directory to this project. Also, you cannot assign, for example, an existing directory to the new project, because it will not allow you to do that. So it's working in both directions. So one directory per one project, and this is something that you cannot discuss with that. Okay, now I will show you also another thing. I will show you Git. So here you need to provide source control URL, branch. If you, just because it is crucial, by default the default branch is master, but sometimes it differs, and sometimes you have more than one branch and you want to specify a proper branch, so you can specify it. If you will not specify, it will connect to the default branch. Source control respect, and here you can see to fetch path to the Ansible Git module allows access to references via the branch field not otherwise available. So here is the explanation. Here is also the explanation. And source control credential, you have to provide source control credential, just because you need to create a credential separately for Git, GitLab, GitHub, Bitbucket, or something else. Also, you have Subversion, very similar, source control revision, source control credential, Red Hat Insights, Insights credential only, and Remote Archive, source control and source control credential. And that's it. Okay, credentials. This is very crucial. You need to, for example, add name, description, organization. So, for example, I don't know, something like test, organization, of course. You can click on this icon and choose home, select, or you can type it manually, credential type. And here you have a lot of Amazon Web Services, Ansible Galaxy Automation, AWX Secrets, Bitbucket, Data Center, Centrify, Container Registry, CyberArk, GitHub Personal Access, Token, GitHub and GitLab. You can see Google, Compute Engine, GPG, Public Key, HashiCorp. Inside, machine is for SSH. So I don't know why they didn't call it SSH, but machine is just a type of access to a machine. Microsoft Azure and Resource Manager, Network, OpenShift, or Kubernetes, OpenStack, Red Hat Ansible, Automation Platform, Satellite 6, Virtualization, Source Control, Terraform, Vault, VMware, vCenter, a lot of Ticotic, etc. etc. But if you will choose a machine, we can see we need to provide a username, password if we don't use RSA key, or if you have a RSA or ED or ECDSA keys, then you can provide SSH private key, and you can also provide a signed SSH certificate if you have it, and passphrase. And see that this is much more convenient, because if you want to work with passphrase for keys in command line using Ansible playbooks and Ansible playbook command directly from the command line, then working with passphrase is a little bit complicated and a little bit maybe not complex, but it requires additional things. And here you don't need anything else, just because what you do, just generate a pair of keys, and then of course set the passphrase, and then you provide this passphrase here, and AWX stores this passphrase securely. So that's it. We will skip privilege escalation method, but you can use it if you want to. For example, if you want to use I will try to explain it. If you want to perform an update and you need to perform command like sudo apt or sudo dnf or sudo yum update and then upgrade, etc., then you need sudo, or you need to switch to root. So you can set it this way. So you have an option sudo, or if the user is in sudoers group, or su dash username. If you want to switch to root, for example, and your user is not in sudoers, but you know the password, the root password, then you choose su, provide username, root, like here, and it will work, and password for the root. But if your user is in a sudoers group, so you choose sudo, and in this case, privilege escalation password, the password will not be for root user, but for this standard user, because for example, if we will add a standard user like Adrian or Ansible, then the password will be for user Ansible or Adrian, but not for root. This is the difference. So if you are using su, you need to provide a password for a root user. If you are using sudo, you need to provide a password for a standard user that is added in sudoers, in etc sudoers file. And if you added a user's or group in sudoers file for the standard user that allow to work with sudo without password, so you added an entry with pass w no or no pass w, then you don't need to provide this password because escalation will work automatically. And I will show an example of credentials that I already created. I will click it here, and I will edit this ktrace key. Of course, this is a standard key, but you can see here I provided username Ansible. There is no password. It is using SSH private key, and the public key is copied to remote machines. So I have a working pair of keys. And also you can see I'm using sudo because Ansible is added to sudo, and escalation username root, and my Ansible user doesn't require to provide a password each time when it executes a command with sudo, because I properly created no pathw entry in etc sudoers file. Fine. So we understand how everything is working. So we created projects, right? We have project. I will get rid of this test2 because I don't need it, and now I will edit these updates just to show you. And control panel execution environment, manual, home, updates directory is chosen. I will show in a moment what is inside update directory, and also I will cancel it. I would like to show you here, if you will go back to project and click on the name of the project, you have tabs: details, access, I mean who has an access, job templates, I mean what kind of template is assigned to this project, and notification. And we will focus on templates in a moment, but before I will switch for a moment to command line, and you will see what I'm exactly talking about. So let's do this, and let's go into the update directory and list the content. So you can see I have two Ansible playbooks. One is a simple update YARN, so which is apt update, upgrade, auto clean, and auto remove. And the second one for update Debian, and this one is a little bit more complex because it checks for available updates. If there is an update, then update the system. If there is no update, then skip. This is working this way, and it checks if a reboot required or not. It doesn't clean the cache because I don't need it. So, and I do not run a auto remove and auto clean. So this is the way how it is working. Of course, you can modify the Ansible playbooks according to your needs. Fine, this is explained. Let's go back to browser. And now the next thing. The next thing is an inventory. So yeah, you need to understand actually how inventory is working. So you can see that in granular you can create, I will say, 3 levels. The first level is on organization. The next level is on teams. Then the next level is on project side, because on project side you have something like job template. So you can assign a proper job to a project, or you actually in your job you can decide on which project to use. So you need to understand how it works. For example, project is like do something rather. And project contains playbooks, Ansible playbooks that do some job. And of course, you can create one huge project and store everything there, but it's much more convenient and clear, and this is a good practice, to create projects specifically for a specific task, right? So, for example, if you want to perform update upgrade, then create project directory for update upgrade. If you want to upgrade only, I don't know, GitLab, Bitbucket, GitHub or something like that, then create a separate directory for this project and name it like, I don't know, Bitbucket upgrade, for example. Then create a separate GitHub upgrade and GitLab update. So you will have separated projects with separated directories, and you will store only specific Ansible playbooks that are needed only for this specific task. It's much more convenient approach. The same thing you can do on GitLab, GitHub, that you will attach to a project. So if you will attach a repository like from GitHub or GitLab or something else on Bitbucket, then it's good to also have a proper structure of repositories where on the server where you have these repositories. For example, on GitLab, yeah, you create it this way, that you create one repository for update of the Bitbucket, and one yes, you can keep everything there also. So you just decide you want to have it locally, or you want to have to keep those Ansible playbooks remotely, and then create a proper structure for them, and divide it to, I don't know, the sky is the limit here, just imagination is the limit. It's good to think twice how to create projects, how to name them, to have everything sorted properly. And then we have inventory. Inventory is also a set of a group of hosts. So inventory can be divided like, I don't know, for example, based on distro. So for example, a group of Red Hat 5, Red Hat 6, Red Hat 7, Red Hat 8, 9, CentOS 8, CentOS 9, Stream, right? Or CentOS 7 if someone is still using it. Debian 10, 11, 12, you can divide it. Or you can divide it functionally, like I'm using Nginx Proxy Manager, K-Trace Cluster, AdGuard Home, etc. Or DNS server, something like that. So this is granular. And you don't have to add hosts here manually. You can if you want to, but you don't really have to. Instead, you create an inventory. So add an inventory here. So choose add an inventory. Provide name, description, organization, instance group, and here you have something like this: control plane default, labels, and then you create it. I will skip it because I already have it, but then you have something like this. If I will click on a pencil, I will show you the example: AdGuard Home, Home, labels AdGuard, and nothing more. Cancel. But if I will go back to inventories and I will click on name here, you have tabs: details, access, groups, and here we go, we have hosts, and we can add a host here. Here provide IP address and a host name or a description. That's it. And you can add host here. And when you will add host on inventory level, it will be added automatically to this section hosts. Fine. And I will skip this. Of course, you have something like sources and jobs and job templates. Okay, so I hope I explained it. Inventory is a set of a group of host names, remote servers. Fine. So we did it. We understand what is organization, users, team, host, inventory, project, and credentials, because I already presented it. The last thing, templates. And I will show you how we can create a template. Add job template, and then you need to provide a name, description. You leave job type, I can choose run or check. Inventory, so you need to select a group of servers where you will be performing a job, and then project. So in this case I provided a project name update, and you can see in the drop down list I have Ansible playbooks that I already presented. So in the directory varlib AWX project update that is assigned to project inside AWX, I have these two Ansible playbooks. So I can choose which one I want to use. Then I can provide label, and below you have also verbosity. This is good. If you want to know what is going on, you can choose a proper level and you can find out what is going on, and I will tell you where it appears. I will cancel it because I don't want to waste this time, but I will show you, for example, update at got home. I will click on pencil, and here you have name, description, job type, inventory at got home. So project updates Debian here. I added credentials SSH because you need to add credential, because job needs to know how to connect and how to execute, and labels like this, and below you have this verbosity. And I will go back to templates, and now instead of editing it, I will click on update at got home name, and here we have access, the notifications, schedules, jobs, and server. And schedule, you can create a schedule. If you will go to templates and you will click on name of the template and then click on schedules tab, you can add a schedule, provide a name, description, blah blah blah, start date, time when, and you can choose to run, for example, once or every, I don't know, 2 minutes, every 2 hours, every 2 days, every 2 weeks, every 2 months, every 2 years, for example, right? This is the way you can perform a schedule. I will cancel it because I already added this schedule, and I will show you. Here I added a name, description, time zone, frequency, so every hour, so every 24 hours the job is running, right? I will cancel it. Of course you can add exception if you want to, but this is and now you can see occurrences when it will run exactly at which hour. So you can of course then modify it and choose another hour, doesn't matter. Back to schedules and jobs. Here we go, which jobs went successful and server. Okay, so we have 3 templates, and now I will show you this in action. For example, I would like to run manually update Nginx proxy manager. So I can click on the name and here and choose launch here, or I can go back to templates and I can click on this rocket icon and it will also launch template. And now the verbosity that I was presenting, actually in the standard output it is displaying proper information here. So thanks this you can decide what level of verbosity you set and how many information, how much detailed information. I mean how much information and how much detailed information you will receive here. You can receive only basic information or have much more information what is going on here on much detailed level. Now I will go to command line and I would like to show you how it is working. What is going on here? kubectl get pods namespace AWX, and I will use a watch in the beginning to observe that you can see what happened. Automation job was created and then completed. Browser. You can see sometimes it freezes, so it's good to go to jobs and then go back here, but you can see the progress here and everything is completed here. So what we can do, we can go to templates one more time, and let's say I want to perform an update of my K-Trace cluster. So click here and now it will create waiting for the job. I will quickly set this window so you can see container creating, so we can see in command line the status, and now you can see the automation is running. So if I will go back to the browser, you can see running here, and you can also click on the name, and here we go, you can see the progress inside the standard output window. So you can see what happens here, and this is the standard normal verbosity. If you will choose something more like debug, for example, you will see much more information in this window. For example, type of connection, handshakes, I don't know, and something else, right? So you will see all the connection, what is going on, how this AWX is connecting to remote host, and how every single step is executed. And now go back to jobs, and it should be completed. And here we go. That's it. And at the end, you have a summary of Ansible playbook. This is a standard Ansible playbook. And if we will go to command line, you can see it is completed. After some time, this automation job that is completed will disappear and it will be gone. Okay, let's go back to browser and see the dashboard. So we have 5 hosts, inventories and failures, projects and failures, and we can see also this progress, and we can see how many times it has been executed actually. For example, we have 5 successful, and we can observe the graph. What about instances? Instance is actually you can have more than one AWX instance, and you can add instances to web GUI. So you can see more instances than one. It's not a problem. And if you have already another AWX instance that is running, but you want to manage everything through one web GUI, this is not a problem. You can add an instance, provide host name, description, listener port, and instance types, execution or hop. That's it. What about application? Application, you can click name, description, organization, authorization, grant type, redirect URI, client type, confidential or public. Execution environment, you can add more. If you will click this one, name, image, so you can choose image, you can choose which one, always pull container, only pull the image if not present before running, never pull container before running. So you choose description, organization, and registry credential. Topology view, you can see only this AWX task. There is nothing here, I mean, because this actually environment is pretty simple. Also, you have something like instance group. I mean, you can group your instances and you can decide in which group they will be available. Management jobs. You have something like remove activity stream history, clean up activity stream, expired tokens, clean up blah blah blah. So you can run, okay, launch it, for example, and go to jobs now. And you can see clean up activity stream is running, removed 0 items. So this is something like this, and you can set up scheduler how often the cleanup should run, and that's it. This is everything what you need to know. And also the last thing is good to understand, because I will then show you the last thing, because what we did, we know what is credential type, but I will focus on notification first. So add, and now we can provide choose notification type. And what is going on here, we can have a email, Grafana, IRC, international relay chat, Mattermost, PagerDuty, Rocket Chat, Slack, Twilio, and Webhook. So we can receive notification from AWX, and we can configure it. So for example, if I would like to mail to provide username, password, host, blah blah blah, you can see for Grafana you need to provide URL and API key and ID of the dashboard, so where the data should be sent, and then Grafana will pick it up and properly display it. IRC, of course, server, password, port, and blah blah blah. So you can have a bot on IRC, for example, that will be performing some tasks based on the information received from AWX. Mattermost. Also, on the channel, you can see some PagerDuty, Rocket Chat, and Slack, of course, Twilio. So we can source phone number, destination SMS, so we can receive SMS, for example, text message, and webhook. Credential type, add, and you can see name, description, and you can provide a new credential type if there is no credential type available here. And if we go here and we will click on add that credential, here you have credential type, but you will see that there is no credential type you need. Then you need to provide your credential type manually, and then you can figure it out. That's it. So we discussed all the administration section, access section, resources, because I showed you, presented host, inventories, project credentials, and templates. And now dashboards, jobs and schedules, last two things, activity stream. So here you can see activity stream, what has been done, and workflow approvals. You can approve, deny, or delete workflows. So currently there is no workflow approvals found, so it's empty. And that's it. This is everything. So thanks this, you can automate everything in your environment. So think twice how to make a proper structure inside AWX or Ansible Tower, because AWX is just an open source and it's just like Ansible Tower. They are very similar. So you create a proper structure, organization, and then divide servers to proper groups, create proper tasks, create proper Ansible playbooks, attach them properly to templates, and create jobs, and then automate everything. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much. Have a nice day or night. Take care. Bye bye.